Hey boys and girls, it's KnightStalker here. Welcome along today to a small and short and not so small preview of the very next season of Conqueror's Blade. Check it out, man. We're going to look at Conqueror's Blade Colosseum. So what we're going to cover in this video is we're going to cover the battle pass, we're going to cover the attires, we're going to cover the runes, we're going to cover the units, and then we're going to cover the new mode, which is the Colosseum mode, which is pretty darn cool indeed. So if you're interested in any of those, at the bottom of the screen you'll see the chapters, or you can just watch the whole thing through if you're particularly dedicated to the cause. Check it out, man. Let's get on now and we'll talk about the battle pass. So where are we here? Battle pass. Lovely. So we're not looking at anything groundbreaking here, boys and girls. You're going to get all of these lovely new things here. We'll just flick through that real quick. What you'll notice, particularly on this Battle Pass, what do you call it, level, playthrough, achievement level, is that you're not going to find any weapon boxes on this one. And that's kind of interesting, because what the developers are saying is that not many people actually purchase and cycle through the attires for their weapons. They tend to get one weapon attire that they love and continue to use it over and over again. So they're focusing their resources in other areas. Hopefully that means balance and new units and putting a lot more effort into all of the things that are sort of upsetting the main player base, and that's really good to hear from my perspective. So after a quick flick through, what you'll notice here is that there are a lot of things for free-to-play players. So even if you don't have the money for the battle pass, there's still a lot of really good things in here for you. Okay, so yeah, as I say, nothing groundbreaking. I'll just quickly touch on the lack of attires, so you can't buy them in the seasonal store here for your blades or anything like that, but you can buy the tyranny season bits and pieces. So you know, they're kind of built for purpose, added and kludged together. They're kind of cool. This is one of my favourite attires in the whole game, this one here actually. And of course you can get some of these old goodies as well. So that's where we're at with Battle Pass. Fun times, hey? So now let's talk about the attires. As you can see here, this is the lovely attire for level 1. It is very beautiful. Of course, I don't have a longsword skin because this season doesn't have a longsword skin. They are actually bringing out 3 skins for weapons, for the spear, the dual blades, and the poleaxe. And they're going to be available later in the season through special events and unlocks and things like that. So that is where you need to go if you are interested in the skins for one of those weapons. So, Knight, what about the other attire? The Gladiator Centurion. Let's have a quick squiz. There we go. That's Mr. Centurion right there. Actually a very Romanesque rather than very Colosseum-esque. So I kind of like that you've got those two options between the Roman Centurion and the Gladiator Champion. Very cool skins in my opinion, some of the best they've released in a while. So what else is new this season? If we flick over to our, that's all the same. This is all the same challenges. The unit challenges work the same. So you can swap your season up here to go and unlock whatever season you want. Of course, if you're a veteran player, you're probably going to be up to the Retario, Mamilios, and Dimachiri, however you pronounce it. Campaign, more of the same, honestly. So let's talk about the runes. You unlock them in the standard way. Get yourself off to the War Scholar. Come and flick through here, and you'll see all of the unlocks. Now there is no Warcry this season. So that's a little bit different to last season. There's no stacking of the runes in that Warcry way, which is kind of sad. I really liked that system, but it is what it is. So let's flick over now, and we'll have a quick flick through the runes, and you can tell me if, well, you can either flick through the runes with me and have a look, or you can just skip on to the next season section, which will be the attires. Let's go have a look now. So let's have a quick look at the runes. Now I'm going to flick through these relatively fast so it's not too boring. Use the chapters at the bottom of the video here. If you just want to skip over this and look at the next one, that's fine. I'm going to go through these pretty quick. If you want to have a look at the individual runes, please hit pause on it, just so we're not spending too much time scanning across all these runes, yeah? So here we go. Probably put some beautiful music on over top of this as we go. I'm already seeing some absolutely brilliant combos I can do with the longsword. There we go, and that's runes, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's move along to another segment, and don't forget, at any time you can use the chapters at the bottom of the page to skip anything you're not particularly interested in. Let's go. Alrighty, runes all done. Let's have a quick look now at the units. We have the Attires, which is of course one of the veterancy lines. I'll flick through here just like the runes real quick so you can have a look at these. If you want to hit the pause button, you can do that quite happily. I won't spend too much time on it because, well, it would be very, very boring again if we just sat here and did this and discussed every single node. What we will discuss is, let's have a look at them. They've actually got, for 160 odd leadership, they've got a lot of leadership. Sorry, a lot of hit points, my mistake. 15 in the unit, 165, and their stats are pretty good. You'll see them in the Colosseum mode later in the video, and you'll notice that they're actually very lightly armoured, sort of equivalent to about Condottieri Guard or something like that if you've got them. Gladiator Salute, 10 leadership less during the season. So Swordmasters, they'll step backwards after each attack to avoid the enemy strikes, has a high movement speed and are highly mobile. So these guys, if you're a fan of the Ragnarok, you know, the Wolfie Boys, the you know, the, oh goodness, I can't remember the name of them. The Fenrir's Wolves, that's it. How they have high mobility and attack. That's kind of a little bit like what these guys are like, but again, you'll see a little bit later on. Shield Feint. Well, their blades, they can strike around a shield, so they'll, well, I don't know if they completely ignore the block or whether it's a percentage chance. We've only had a couple of hours to have a play with this. So basic attacks have a chance to trigger a Sekai Lunge. What is that? Sekai Lunge. Launches 2 Sekai Lunges that ignore block and then quickly retreats. So this unit is kind of a little bit like the Wolfie Boys, but they like this little step back ability that allows them to really try and avoid a bit of the damage. Also the Sekai Torment, the Dimichiri, I hope I'm pronouncing these words right. They leap up for a heavy attack before coming into contact with the enemy, dealing high damage and dazing units. So this is probably a really good flanking unit. We won't know until we actually have a good play with it in the game. And then they launch a series of fierce attacks. So yes, very much like the Wolfie Boys. If you like those guys, you're probably going to like these guys as well. Now, let's take a look at the purple tier unit. Where is he? There he is. The Mimilos and the veterancy line. Again, just quickly skip through. Use that pause button if you want to see these in more detail or a little bit slower, so you can actually process the information that's going in. But we won't spend forever on them. What are their stats? 13,500. So this is a shield unit, by the way. So if you like the Imperial Spear Guard or the Iron Cap Spears, this unit might be a good unit for you. I'm certainly looking forward to having it in the games because of the way that their shield advance works. But we'll talk about that in just a second. So we've got 28 in the unit, 235 leadership, which is very cheap. It's much cheaper than the Imperial Spear Guard at about 255, and their damage is actually a little bit higher than theirs as well. In terms of armour, though, their armour is much lower than the Imperial Spear Guard, so that's something to be aware of. A 10 leadership discount during the season, shield walls. This gladiators form into a tight-knit formation, increasing all defences. Attacks during formation knock enemies back, so that is very similar to the Imperial Spear Guard and how they work. You'll notice they also have the same formations as the ISG. Murmillo Guard quickly moves forward to target destination. Upon coming into contact with the enemy, they raise their shields and knock the enemy back, gaining immunity to crowd control. One thing that it doesn't note here that it also does is that when they move into their defensive formation, which looks a lot like this, they also have a rear guard. So the people in the back of the block formation turn around and protect the rear. Very, very good for pushing into the centre of enemy units and you know, really taking the hits for your team. So I'd say this unit is going to have some popularity with support players like myself. If you're not a support player, you may be more interested in the Attires. Ta-da! Brilliant looking gold unit. And the little play with this unit that I've had, they're quite quite strong. So again, we're just going to flick through the notes. Use your pause button on your video if you would like to take all this in and a little bit of extra time to have a quick squiz through it. But we won't spend too much time on it. So this is kind of like a javelin unit crossed with a hard-hitting melee unit. What sort of stats do they have? A lot of health. Lots and lots of health. But they're going to need that. For a gold unit, they have pretty mediocre armour. And it's not bad armour, not by any means. But it's certainly not the same sort of thing that you would expect out of a heavy infantry unit. But it's close. It's close. You know, I'm not knocking it. Just note that it's slightly lower than usual. Only got 12 in the unit, but 310 leadership, very fast at 5.3. Well, sort of faster than average at 5.3, not very fast. Ammo's quite good, actually, for a javelin unit. You don't want to ever use labour. So, 10 leadership reduction. Longshot hits all enemies in a line and greatly reduces their block. So the way that works is when they throw their javelins, the javelins punch through the enemies. They have punch through, right? They don't just hit one unit and that's the end of it, one soldier and that's the end of it. They actually have punch through. Mark of Death. Attacks apply the Mark of Death, reduces damage taken from enemies with the Mark of Death. Attacking an enemy with the mark removes it and deals damage equal to a percentage of the enemy's health. So that is actually quite effective when we start taking a look at the orders. And we're going to move backwards through the orders. Doom throw. Ha ha ha, it's doom. Tosses javelins at the target direction, marking those with Mark of Death. Now these javelins are relatively accurate, actually, in terms of untargeted javelins. So it's really quite effective, and we'll show you that in the trading room just in a minute. Spearfishing. Charges the nearest enemy and attacks 3 times, with the last hit sending the enemy flying, which is very good. Takes 15% reduced damage during the skill, also very good. Deals high damage against enemies with the Mark of Death, and if not, it applies the Mark of Death. So that is really good. You'll see how these compound. Trident Charge. Charges the nearest enemy and attacks, taking 10% reduced damage during the skill. Deals high damage against enemies with Mark of Death, and if not, it will apply the Mark of Death. So we'll just look back at the Mark of Death again. Reduces damage taken from enemies. So if they are hit with Mark of Death, they do less damage to you. Attacking with an enemy with the Mark of Death, so even with an auto attack, a basic attack, will reduce their health by a percentage. So as you can imagine, this is very good against things like, or I will imagine it's very good against things like Varangian Guard. Yeah, so delicious, delicious. So with that said, let's pop across to the trading room, and I'll show you quickly what all this is about. Alright, here we are. We're going to start with the Mimillos. Mimillos. Let's go. Why am I so zoomed in? Oh, that's right. I was showing you my beautiful armour. Oh, I've got that double tap X thing on. Always turn that off, by the way. So here we go. We're going to set up our boys in a shield line. You'll notice that they're not as wide as like the Imperial Spear Guard. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's mostly because there are not as many of them. So, let's have a look when we do our advance. Watch how much damage these boys do with their charge. Remember, these are just training room mobs, so don't be too amazed. But do you see how when they form up, unlike the Imperial Spear Guard, they protect their own rear? Well, the Imperial Spear Guard do protect their own rear because they go into the circle formation, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's quite cool that these guys go into the little block formation and also protect their rear. Their little attacks do a relatively nice amount of damage. So, let's have a quick look, see if they would like to fight in normal formation. Let's see how these guys dent our armour wall. Do you see how they do the knockback? Just like the Imperial Spear Guard. They're not going to get their bonus for being hit like the Imperial Spear Guard, but they certainly do more damage. That's not in question here at all. See how they knock everybody back. Now that little bit of crowd control is going to make a big difference. And so there'll be a time for Imperial Spear Guard and there'll be a time for Mimillos. What happens if we just attack? In this instance, they just fan out in the normal way. They don't overlap, nothing like the Prefecture Guard or anything like that. And they're just going to slowly work their way through the enemy with a very moderate damage. Like as much damage as you might ordinarily expect from a sword and shield unit. So, they have that formation, the circle formation. They have this square formation, which, by the way, the standard formation doesn't actually, as you can see, defend their back. They don't defend their back until they have completed their little advance. All right? And they also have the line formation. With that said, let's go now and we'll check out the Attires. So here we are, I have the Attires. They have two formations. They have a tight loose formation and they have an open loose formation. It's very exciting, I know. So yeah, there's a few units that use these sort of things. It's just, they're not a formation type unit. They're not a formation based unit. So what do we do here? First thing we're going to do is we're going to go and mark them for death. Oh, we've got archers. Archers even. What happens when we archerize them? Oh, it's messy, that's for sure. We'll hit the 1 key and they're going to charge off. Kind of like the Berserkers or the Varangian Guard, they will just charge the nearest unit, and it is possible for your unit to get split up and isolated, so you have to be a little bit careful of that. Do you see how they've taken a bit of damage? This unit is actually not well armoured. Huh? Screw you. Right. So this unit is not well armoured, as we've already noted. Not when you compare them to like Iron Reapers, right? They're still relatively well armoured, but they've got sort of purple tier level armour. But that's okay, given how that they work. Now we've got ourselves a shield unit here. What we're going to do is we're going to do our Chucky. Whoa, look at that annihilation. Then we're going to charge in. We're going to use that Mark of Death. And then we're going to use the number 2 ability and watch them just get absolutely smacked. Boom. And that is basically how the Attires work. Let's go now and we're going to skip over and we're going to get the other unit, the blue tier unit, which I forget the name of because I'm amazing. Let's go. Alright, here we are with the Dimacheri, or however they're called. You notice their abilities down here. Number 2 is their Torrent, and the one is their Lunge. So what we want to do is we want to go and find somebody who's got shields, and then we'll go and see how they perform in this little combat test. So, it's archers, okay. Let's see if we can stab them nicely. Note that their armour is not brilliant. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Mind you, they are training room mobs and they are training room archers, right? So how much of a chance did they ever really stand? Notice, however, that even the training room mobs, they've caused a bit of damage to this unit. It's not a super strong unit in terms of being able to take damage, right? Just like the Wolfie boys, the Wolves of Ragnarok guys. Oh, look, we've got shields. Now, obviously, you wouldn't fight player shields in this sort of formation. Let's see what happens. And they absolutely slash through them. What if we hit the 2 key? Oh, devastating. So these guys are anti-shield, I would imagine. They're going to be most effective, I would imagine, against the new Colosseum shield unit, the Mamillo. I would suggest to you that something like Imperial Spear Guard would probably devastate them, just given their heavy armour and the way that they function in terms of how their bonuses work and things like that. But it'll all be proofs in the pudding, right? Let's see what happens if the unit doesn't have a shield when we attack them with the 1 ability. It's just high damage. Do you see how they jump back and try and take a little bit less damage? Now that's not going to work against pikes, but against sword and shield units I imagine that it's a very good bonus. So that is the 3 units. Let's go and have a look now at the new Colosseum mode. What we're going to do with the Colosseum mode is my partner's got COVID and I was up all night looking after her, so unfortunately I missed the preview event this morning. What that means is I'm going to be showing you Bluntcast and Peridot, the community managers. I'm going to be showing you their efforts at the Colosseum. Now, while you are watching this, don't forget that we're talking about people whose job is the community managers, and they're going to be facing professional video gamers, okay? Please don't be super judgmental of them. They are literally playing against people who spend 8 or even 10 hours or even 12 hours a day playing this game. Let's go now and we'll have a look at how they fare against all of the community contributors.
This entrance, that whole pan up, seeing the whole Colosseum. I also love the fans in the stands for the Colosseum. Something about fighting and having people clap and cheer as you're doing it around you, it's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're excited for me to die, but like at the same time, that's really cool that they're
They
here.
could be excited for us to just be unstoppable killing machines. You never know.
Absolutely.
That's what I like to believe, that chat is always with us. It's just applauding our victory, and nothing else. Wanting only good
Something
things
like
for us.
that, yeah.
Right? Right, guys? Okay, I'm taking a strong stance over here.
Oh, they're coming
they're-
behind.
they're
Oh, no,
going
they're
all the
here.
way around. Okay, okay.
Units, assemble!
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, no. I made a mistake. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh no! I'm gonna make a
It's
push
okay.
for some artillery.
Form up!
That is the height of rudeness. Get away! Get away!
Alright, well.
Get away over there.
Send my unit into battle and I'll go claim the point. Start those points ticking down.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, hi! You with the artillery? Hi there! That is my face. Please don't burn it off. Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's. Yeah.
I like
We're
it.
gonna. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do not that. In fact, I'm so sure we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go and talk to them.
Here's you.
Can I hop through this?
Oh,
Dramatic.
I am contesting. I'm contesting the point alone. You might wanna have people come over here and help. Hello.
Wee. Wee.
Oh, I got.
I gotta go.
Fine. Who's shooting me?
Oh,
Other team. Oh gosh.
that'll do it. No, this is me. You missed.
Oh no, you're building a. Someone's building artillery on the point. No. Thank you. You don't need that.
I
You don't
ran
need
straight
it.
into
You
the
don't need
arrows.
it.
Oh, brutal.
No. Please don't. Okay, that was my death. I was the only one that artillery was aiming for.
That's so rude.
I'm honored, actually. I'm honored that they picked me. They went in this
Yeah.
one,
Great
murder.
mindset to have. Great mindset to have. That's the right mentality to have.
Make haste!
I'm coming for the
Trying to
tyrant.
find a McCherry.
Follow me!
Come on, buddies. Oh, okay.
Shields up and charge!
Oh, who's shooting me? Who's hurting me?
Ooh, get him. There's a unit that's dealing a lot of damage to me right now. Okay,
Uh-oh.
I'm backing up. Oh, get over that.
And we gotta keep an eye on because they've no one's got the point at the moment.
Okay,
Is it
that's good
free?
for us.
Oh no, never mind. They have it, and there's a lot of them. Never mind. Oh no, that's a lot of them. Oh no. So we have to keep our eye on that. Did they have? They also have the supply point.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, I'm gonna die.
Hurry up!
My new unit is on the way. Get out of here, tyrant. Get out of here.
Please stop. Please. No. I like life. I like living. Thank you. I'm enjoying life.
What's this supply point saying?
Attack!
Remilios, please stop it. Remilios, I'm good. Thanks. Why are you? Oh, okay. Goodbye.
Big mood.
I only have one life left.
Oh no!
I know.
Think the same with me?
You have died only once.
Oh, okay.
Myself and Itachi have died twice, and King Alpha have died twice. We still have everybody else, the other three, on 2 lives left.
Attack at will!
Not too bad.
Okay, I'm just gonna chill out up here for a second.
Attack at
We have people
will!
coming for you.
Oh, now, yeah, I'd run if I were you too. Yeah, get off that horse.
No one has the point claimed, but there are now cavalry units on the field. And I
Oh,
don't think they're
mistimed my attack.
friendly.
Oh. Oh well. Okay, I gotta focus up.
Why am I dying? I just have barely a breath of health.
Oh, you're not the only one.
Hide in
That's
this
you also
corner.
on breath of health.
No one see me. No one notice me things.
We are the choosers of the slave. Go! We will follow!
My unit is dead.
As you wish, to the leader!
I'm gonna see if
Oh, hey, you. Hey.
what's the situation on the point itself.
Not super great.
For Freya! No!
Yeah, get that artillery out of here. Okay, we got the point.
Form up!
Good.
Change weapons!
Attack at will!
For Freya! Change weapons!
Form up on me!
Fray them!
Give them hell!
Uh-oh. Is this the end?
No. Oh, they've got the point. Oh, but you're there. Okay.
Yeah.
Smash them! We will be unstoppable! Close order!
Oh, I don't want to be on this receiving end of that. Nope, I gotta go, running.
Oh, that
so
was
close.
in front of me. No, no,
So
no.
close.
No, no, you don't get to run at me now. No, 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 no.
Oh, it's chaos, it's chaos. Oh, I didn't even get to use that unit that I earned by killing them. Heartbreaking.
Oh, no. Oh, no, here I go. Here I go. This is my last death.
Get moving!
Oh, but we only have 2 people left. Oh, it's down to Man and Tumblewise.
Enemy are about to.
Oh,
Brutal.
oh, and Tumble is low on health and being chased. Oh no.
That's a mood.
Form wedge!
Yeah, with those Colosseum cavalry in pursuit, it's scary.
Oh no. They both, I believe, only had died once at that time, so they both have 1 life left.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is something that's going to be interesting with this, is that, like, you're fighting. And if you're by yourself in the end, if it's 1v6 at the end, that's going to be... I don't want to be in that position. That's going to be terrifying.
Get ready!
Throwing himself on the point. Be brave.
Oh, but being absolutely...
That's a lot of enemies.
Oh, speaking of that 1v1 situation.
Cutting those Retiari down. Bravely taking them on. But I don't think we did him many favors. Dying off that early, but hey. Gave it a good shot. They fought bravely.
Oh, we entered stage 3, so that area for the capture point got a little smaller,
It
which
starts
is really
to shrink
cool.
over time. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It really shows if you've not got the attire on, doesn't it? It really,
Yeah.
you stick out if you've not got